Jim, can you talk about what union offices you ran for?
Well, one time I ran for a business union rep, and at that time it must have been in the 80s. I forget exactly when. Anyway, I ran by myself as an independent, and we had 12 positions, and I came in 14, and I was running by myself. So, like I say, I just wanted to test the water to see how it was, what would happen. And so, but I had plenty of good times here, all good times. Bad times, I don't see no bad times.
That's great. What are the positions you hold with the union?
I started out in Local C, and I used to be on, I want to say is, I used to be on the bylaws committee. And I never particularly wanted to play on the union holding office or being play partisan politics. That's one of the things I don't like is partisan politics. I feel like if you are a member of a union, good or bad, if you can have a good idea, people should listen. If you only listen because you're on a certain team, it's no good for the people.
What are some of the things that you accomplished while you were at that position?
Well, as chairman of the bylaws committee, we changed Local C's bylaws for been some time ago. Don't remember exactly, but we used to change the bylaws to make sure that they were operating for the benefit of the members and everything.
That's great, Jim. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You co-chaired the Human Rights Committee. What was that, and what were some of the activities of the committee?
Well, the committee itself, when it first got started, a lot of people had the wrong idea about the Human Rights Committee. They thought the Human Rights Committee was meant to take care of union representatives and all, but it was meant to take care of the union people. When the International first started out, a lot of people, just like I said, had the wrong assumption about the Human Rights Committee. So once you started getting on the road and taking care of the members, it made a big difference. Because what happened is, on the job, we saw integration in this people that started working there. We started having women in the jig shop. We started having black supervisors in the jig shop. They started having women supervisors all along. It opened it up.
That's big strides.
Mm-hmm.
You were also president of the Seattle chapter of the APRI.
A. Philip Randolph Institute.
Were you a founding member?
No. A. Philip Randolph was already established when I became a member. And I got into position of being the president, and we worked with the King County Labor Council, we worked with the State Labor Council, we did everything. We were the Seattle chapter, and we also had national affiliation with the A. Philip Randolph Institute. And what we wanted to do is get the union involved so that they would integrate the union as well as having members to make sure that everybody was treated fairly.
I understand there was a discrimination complaint filed against you by a coworker. What was that about?
Well, in my job as a lead man, I assigned 2 members a job. It was a check order. It was a 16-hour order. All they had to do was set up a transit and a level. All they had to do is buck the transit in. Then all they had to do then, once they got to the transit and level in a position to do the check order, all they had to do was then go sign up for inspection. The guy that was supposed to be in charge of it, he lollygag all day long and didn't get the job done. He had to take another day. It was a 16-hour order to begin with plenty of time to do the job. But he decided now he was going to lollygag and not do it, and he was going to get some more time to do the job. I'm the one that would have to go into and write an order for getting more time from engineering. So the guy thought I was treating him badly. He went to the company personnel and told him I was discriminating against him because of his disability. I didn't know what disability he had because he was always doing whatever he wanted to do when he got ready. And so what happened, he also got in contact with the union, and he called Ron up, Gahey, because Ron was the chairman of the Human Rights Committee. And since I was the co-chair, he thought he was doing something real well, but it backfired on him. Because what happened, personnel stopped me from issuing him jobs. So supervisor had to give him a job. I had no contact with him from then on. Once the supervisor gave him a job and he put it up for sale, the first time he put a job up for sale, he got 2 pages of pickups on it. And this is what I was trying to tell him. It didn't faze me one bit. And then when the run come out, I told him to investigate, put it on paper, because this guy's been getting away with murder.
Yes. That's quite a story. I understand you were one of the original members of the unofficial 751 Club. Why did you feel politics were so important?
If you look around, and it's just like today, you don't have to, just like today, you have politicians, they will give you a spiel and they will tell you one thing. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent, you want a person that will work with one another in order to get things done. You look at today's, what's happening in Congress today. In the Senate, there's bills that's still there that the House had passed over a year ago. They still in the Senate, and the Senate is having a lot of who shot John, I call it. And the bills don't get passed. Take, for instance, about the black farmers of America. They won a lawsuit against our federal government for I believe it was $1.25 billion. They haven't found the money yet to pay them in the Senate, but they have found money to pay the Caucasian farmers. So it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or independent. If you're not going to do right for the people, you should relinquish your job, but most people don't want to relinquish those jobs because they're better for them to procrastinate and get where they can have one of the best medical programs in the United States and also a pension. As we see our politician in Washington, D.C., as a House of Representatives, you get 3 terms, which is 6 years. In the Senate, you get 1 term is 6 years, and you got a pension and medical for the rest of your life. Where else can you get it any better than a politician?
Are you still politically active?
Yes. I vote every time there's a chance to vote, because if I don't vote, I have no right to gripe.
That's right. That's good.